I am Gabriel Gualberto, and I am here to do something very special. I am here today at LPU Riverside Campus to ask students about their insights and what they know about physics! Yes, one of the most hardest subjects in senior high school. So without further ado, let's go! Okay, so let's start asking students about their insights about physics. What are your insights about physics?
Ano, nakakamatay. Gets ko naman, pero nakakamatay talaga.
Hindi amay? Nakakamatay pala. Look. May I ask a question? What are your insights about physics?
The insights about physics is that it's full of mathematical equations, and like in our subjects, it's about vectors. Vectors is that it can teach us about the directions and also the triangle, how important the triangle is. Thank you.
Thank you din po. Miss, may I ask a question?
Yes, what is it?
What is your insight about physics?
What do you mean ba when we say insight?
Oh, miss, what is your perception or what do you believe what physics is?
Well, actually, physics, aside from being it is hard, as we have there in your notes, well, physics is around us, right? Physics is everywhere. Physics can be useful in everyday lives, not just in our by academics, but it can be related to by just simple your sports, the traveling, the routine of a basketball. So that's one part, and another else that basically again, physics is everywhere.
A truly insightful answer from Miss. What are your insights about physics?
For me, physics is the study of motion and it deals with a lot of science. It's a branch of science. Mahirap siya para sa akin pero it is interesting kasi magagamit natin siya sa daily lives natin.
Thank you po.
Thank you!
What are your insights on physics?
My insights about physics is that physics is a hard subject.
Thank you po. Let us ask students some physics-related questions about units of measurements and vectors. And if they manage to get it correctly, they will win some money.
Wow.
Before we continue on, this video is sponsored by YellowCab. Tired from studying and not having something to eat? Well, YellowCab is here for you. Try their many delicious pizzas and savor the flavors. Unang kagat, magaling na sa physics agad.
Uy! Ate! Yes, a question.
Yes.
What strand are you in?
STEM Engineering 2A.
STEM Engineering. Sige. Since you're from the STEM Engineering strand, would you like to answer a question related to physics?
Let's try.
Sige. Come here. Here is a pen and paper for you to answer the question. So, this will be the first question. Convert 680 inches to yards. Yun! Tapos na magsagot si ate. Yung answer.
Converting 680 inches to yards based on the unit conversion table, there's no direct conversion from inches to yards. Instead, 680 inches divided by 12 inches to be divided by 3 feet, we get 18.8889 yards. Hence, the importance of the table.
So it seems like Ate has answered the question correctly. Now, would you like to answer another question?
Sige, try.
Sige, kung gusto ulit mag-try. Your second question. Convert 4.25 miles to meter.
Okay.
So it seems like Ate has already finished answering the question. Kindly explain your answer.
Same situation on the previous example. There is no direct conversion from the miles to meters. Hence, the use of the unit conversion table, 4.25 miles divided by 0.6214 miles times 1,000 meter is equals to 6,839.3949 meter.
Thank you very much for answering our questions. Thank you po.
Thank you.
Ate, yung premi mo. Yan. 200 pesos.
Sure.
What strand are you in?
I'm from STEM engineering.
STEM engineering. Are you willing to answer a question related to physics?
Sure, why not?
Here's a pen and paper for you to answer. So the first question is, convert 69 hours to days. Ate has already finished answering the question. Kindly explain your answer.
Sure. Being our example is 69 hours is equal to how many days? Since 1 day is equal to 24 hours, we should be dividing 69 hours to 24 hours. So, 69 hours divided by 24 hours equals to 2.875 days.
Are you willing to answer the second question? Sige. The second question will be, convert 8 weeks to minutes. It seems like Ate has already finished answering the second question. Kindly explain your answer.
Sure. As you can see here, the example is how many minutes are there in 8 weeks. The same process as the previous example, we multiply 8 weeks to 7 days, then divide it by 1. And since the answer to every given solve, arithmetically, to 1 is given itself. Again, 8 weeks times 7 days times 24 hours times 60 minutes is equal to 80,640 minutes.
Thank you for answering our questions. Here is 200 pesos.
Thank you.
Sige. Who wants some money? Kuya. Let me ask you. Do you want some money?
No.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Huwag kayo iiyak.
Sige. Since you want some money, let me ask you a question. What strand are you in?
Sam?
Uy, STEM. Matalino to. Since you are part of the strand, let me ask you a question regarding physics. And if you manage to answer it correctly, I will give you 100 pesos.
Wow, that's actually cool.
To answer your question, here is a pen and paper.
Thank you very much, sir.
So the question is, if you walk 50 meters north, then walk back 25 meters, what would your distance be from your starting point to your end point? Looks like you have already finished your answer. Kindly explain your answer.
So, the answer or the solution is very simple since we only need to use the resultant equals vector 1 plus vector 2. So we will just simply substitute the given. But since you're asking the distance of the starting point to the end point, we will have to subtract both the given. And then we will end up with 25 meters. As for the north direction, we always have to use the given with the highest value. So that is why we end up with 25 meters north.
So it seems that you have answered the question right. Now let me ask you a question. Would you like another 100 pesos?
Sure, let's go.
Moving on to the next question. So the second question is, a dog walks 30 meters east. It stops and accelerated to chase a cat 20 meters east again. Find the distance that the dog ran from its starting point to its end point. So it looks like you're finished. Kindly explain your answer.
Okay, so unlike a while ago where you asked me, I will go north, then I will go south. This time, I will only go one direction. So that is why in this time, we will use the same formula as a while ago, but we will just have to add the two given. So 30 meters plus 20 meters. And since both of them have the same direction, which is east, we will just use east. That is why we end up with 50 meters east.
Wow! Congratulations on answering those two questions. Here is your 200 pesos.
Oh my God, may pang-merienda na ako! Let's go!
So it looks like we made a student very happy. Let's go on to the last student. Uy, look! A student is studying! Yes, let me ask you questions. Would you like some money?
Sure. If you work on my shirt.
So since you like money, let me ask you a question. What strand are you in?
I'm in STEM engineering.
Oh, STEM engineering. Matalino to. Since you are part of the STEM engineering, I will ask you a question regarding physics. And if you manage to answer the question correctly, I will give you 100 pesos.
Okay. Sounds good. Okay, surprise me.
So your question is, suppose an airplane went 165 miles east, then turned to go 330 miles north. How far is the airplane from its starting point to its destination?
Okay. Give me some time. I'll answer this.
So it seems like you're already finished answering the question. Kindly explain your solution.
Okay, sure thing. Okay, so based on the given example that you have told me, I have identified that my vector 1 will be 165 miles east and the vector 2 will be 330 miles north. Here are the three graphs to make it easier to understand and to be further elaborated. So you can see the direction, here's the given. Since this is going east, and north. You can also see, or we can also convert it into A, B, C, which our A value will be 165 miles and B is equal to 330 miles, where we will be finding C, or thus the resultant vector. And to make it easier for later, in finding tangent theta, we will be using this one. Here is our given angle, which is theta, which if this is our angle, then this is the opposite side, this is the adjacent one, and this is the hypotenuse, which we can see is clearly the longest side. So, to find C, we will be using the Pythagorean theorem, which is a squared plus b squared is equal to c squared. And by doing so, we will substitute the given a and b. So, thus that gives us 165 miles square plus 330 miles square is equal to c square, making it 27,225 miles square plus 108,900 miles square is equal to c square. And then, let's just square root both sides, and then we will have a final answer of 368.9512163 miles is equal to c. Or we can just move them to 4 places, thus giving us c is equal to 368.9512 miles. After getting c, we will now be getting the degree of the direction, and to do that, we will be using the SOHCAHTOA method, or for my instance, I would always like to use tangent theta, which is equal to opposite over adjacent. As you can see, this is the opposite side, and this is adjacent. Opposite is equal to 313 miles, adjacent is 165 miles. And with that, if we divide them, we will have an answer of 2. So, we put the tangent into the right side, which gives us a tangent inverse, times 2. with that, we will have an answer of 63.4349488.2 degrees. Or we can just say, in short, 63.4349 degrees. Since we now have the value of c and the value of the degree or the theta, then we can have our final answer, which is resultant vector is equal to 368.9512 miles, and for the direction, which is 63.4349 degree north of east. How do you say north of east? Because that is the direction of where it's going. See?
So it seems like you have answered the question correctly. Now, let me offer you something. Would you like to answer another question?
Sure, why not?
Okay, but let me warn you. This question will be very, very hard. And if you manage to answer it correctly, I will give you a value of 500 pesos.
Okay, that sounds good. Let's go. Alright, ask me the question.
So, the question is, Jay was driving with his friend Martin 10 kilometers 45 degrees of north for a road trip. They got hungry and accelerated 15 kilometers north to eat at McDo. Find the distance from their starting point till their end point. Okay.
A few moments later.
I'm finished.
Wow. So, it seems like you have answered the question correctly. Even I don't know the solution. I only know the answer though. So, very good on answering the question. Now, kindly explain the solution.
Of course. So, based on the given example that you have told me, here's my vector 1, which also 10 kilometers 45 degree west of north. And for the vector 2 is equal to 15 kilometers north. So, the direction, as we can see, is west of north over here. So, vector 1. Vector 2 is just north, facing over here, which is 15 kilometers. And to make it a lot more easier in finding the values, you can just convert it into here, ABCs. You can see that A is equal to 10 kilometers, B is equal to 15 kilometers, and as you can see, C is unknown because it's also the value that we will be finding, the resultant vector. So, how did you get the value of 135 degrees for C? Well, we have to be very creative and imaginative. As you can see, here, I made another right angle over here, just an imaginary right angle. And since the given value of 45 degree is just here, you can just imagine that there is another line over here. And with that, we can just find the value, which is 45, which results to 180. And since our value over here is 45 degrees, we'll just add it with this, since this is a right angle, 90. So we get 45 degree plus 90 degree is equal to 135 degrees. That's how we get the value of C. So with that, we have a given of A is equal to 10 kilometers, B is equal to 15 kilometers, and C is equal to 135 degrees. So for finding for C, or this one, we will be using the cosine law, which is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared minus 2AB cosine C. So we will just be substituting all the given, and once substituted, this will give us an answer of 537.1320344 kilometers squared. So to get rid of the square, we'll just square root the both sides, which will give us an answer of C is equal to 23.176109113 kilometers. Or we can just simply say that it is 23.1761 kilometers. So to find the direction or the degree of the direction, we will be using the sine law, which is B over sine B is equal to C over sine C. Just substitute the given, and this will give us 15 kilometers over sine B is equal to 23.176109113 kilometers over sine 135 degrees. And then with that, we will just cross multiply the two, and we will have an answer of sine B times the quantity 23.176109113 kilometers is equal to 10.60660,172 kilometers. And then to find sine B, we will be dividing this one to both sides. And by that, we get rid of this and rid of this. And then once we divide this 2, it will result to sine B is equal to 0.457652389. And then we will be finding for just the B. So we will transfer sine to the other side, which will then give us a sine inverse of 0.457652389. And then after that, this will give us an answer of 27.2357232 degrees west of north. Or we can just simply say that it's 27.2357 degrees west of north. And then, since we're trying to find this one, since we're to find this value over here, then we will be using this one. 45 degree minus 27.2357232 degrees, then it will be equal to 17.764261 degree, or to simply say is 17.7643 degrees west of north. So with that, we now have our value of C and our direction. So we will have a final answer of resultant vector is equal to 23.1761 kilometer and 17.7643 degree west of north. That's it. Very hard to explain.
Thank you very much for answering the question. And as promised, here is your 500.
Oh yeah! A merch, baby! A merch! Shout out to my mom! Let's go!
Well, today has been a pretty rough day. But hey, at least we learned something new. And thanks to the students for answering my questions, we have learned the importance of physics and how it can be implemented into our daily lives. Well, I'm pretty tired. That'll be all. See you